Kick it off.
All right, we got to kick it off with thank you to our sponsor, Kiran. I appreciate it. Atara Group for the Mondariz water. Our guest, everybody always loves it. It's in glass.
It's the best thing, better than
And
plastic.
no microplastics.
And no microplastics.
We have a special guest today running for District 4, Manolo's previous district. In studio today, Ralph Rosado. Welcome to the studio.
You got it. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you,
Well,
Thank you, Eddie.
For those people who don't know you, if you can explain a little bit, a little bit about you, your history, and why you're running.
Sure, absolutely. So, I was born here in the city of Miami and have lived here most of my life. I was born in Little Havana.
Oh, nice.
And and
That's a story in itself.
that's a
great
story in itself.
right
Well, it was the 70s, so certainly it was going to be very, very colorful. Born and raised in Little Havana, and again have lived here most of my life. Went to public schools in the area. Went to Kensington Park Elementary, which a lot of District 4 residents attended. Ultimately, I wound up moving out of the city for a little bit with my family and graduated from Belen Jesuit Prep.
Oh, nice.
Yes. And
There you go.
yeah, and I'm a very proud FIU Panther as well, which I know a lot of people in the community have their kids there. A lot of people I've talked to either went there or they're sending their kids, their grandkids. So it's an institution. It's a wonderful school. And after graduating from there, I actually worked in local government for a number of years. So my professional experience revolves basically about doing everything local, right? Because folks are very interested always like, well, who's running for president and what's going on in Congress. But the reality is the things that affect us most are the things that are done at the daily level,
1000%.
right? Whether your trash gets picked up, whether you feel safe, whether schools are good quality or not. It's really local government is where it's at. So that's always been my passion. I'm a lifelong public servant that had the opportunity to rise up the ranks at different cities and ultimately became a city manager and got to oversee all city operations for a number of years. And so it's the kind of thing I also would bring to the dais.
Where were you city manager?
I was city manager in North Bay Village for close to 6 years.
Okay.
Yeah, where we had a really, really successful time. It's a place that was very, very sleepy, and there was like no investment, very little investment going on for a number of years there. And really, we were able to turn around the city's reputation, and get folks very positive about it. So we now have a lot of investment going into that place. We were able to reduce crime. We were able to win a series of awards that showed people that we were performing, best practices. We got police accreditation for the first time in the city's history. So, things were going very, very well.
About that, for people who don't know, sometimes people don't understand the levels where you have the county mayor, the city mayor, and then you have a city manager. What is the difference between obviously the city mayor and the city manager, and what is the objective of the city manager?
Sure. So the city manager oversees the staff. Not every city has a city manager, but most cities in Miami-Dade County do. And the ones that do, it's 28 out of the 34 cities have city managers. City manager's the day-to-day boss that oversees all the staff. The commission makes the decisions about what to move forward on, and then the city manager is tasked with implementing those things.
So you have to be an executor.
You've got to be an executor. And so, I was able to do that because not only is my professional background very much aligned with that, but also my educational background. So I mentioned, being a very proud FIU graduate, I wound up going on to Princeton University. I have, a couple of masters from Princeton. So one in public policy and one in urban planning. And then got a doctorate in city planning from the University of Pennsylvania. And so that gives me the ability to hit the ground running on day one, where I can understand the kinds of decisions that you're making that are important ones that affect people's lives. And I can say, this didn't work well over here in this other place. So let's kind of, change our minds about how to do this going forward in the city of Miami.
That's excellent.
So I just wanted to say that you're going for the special election, which is June 3rd, correct?
June 3rd, yes. So originally, Commissioner Reyes, may he rest in peace, who was a very good public servant.
I wanted to say that because
Absolutely.
Manolo is very well missed because
Absolutely.
he's a spectacular man. He was a perfect, gentleman and everything. And a friend of this podcast, a friend of mine, and a friend to La Liga contra el Cáncer, which I represent and do La Liga.
Thank you for your work on that, Manny.
And basically at the end of the day, Manolo was always there, always for La Liga, always. He knew the importance of the League Against Cancer, especially for the city of Miami. And I'm just saying that, that's a special seat because I know how Manolo used to work that district. And
Absolutely.
he knew that district, every which way. And I know that he also appointed you. Mm-hmm. You were appointed to a special bond board.
Yes.
Which is a big deal because that was that
It
bond
is a big deal.
that passed by the city residents, correct?
Yeah, back in 2017, the city approved a $400 million bond that was intended to generate dollars to support a number of really important projects, including roadway reconstruction, drainage projects, because there are some flooding challenges in District 4 and across the city, affordable housing projects, park improvements, anything of like a physical nature where you have to fix something. And so as soon as that was approved and he was elected into office at the same time, he appointed me to the bond board, and I've been on there the entire time, and I'm the chair of the board until a few days ago. I had to resign to be able to run for office.
Correct.
But that oversees or helps to oversee, from a resident's perspective, over 100 projects, citywide. So I have a deep knowledge of the kinds of projects that are already completed in District 4, the kinds of projects that are still on the drawing board, the kinds of projects that need some funding. And it piggybacks really well off the things I'm hearing at the door, right? So I know that just from talking to folks for a number of months, folks are concerned about speeding on their block. They're concerned about flooding on their block, which is still an issue that, longstanding issue that needs to be addressed. Folks want to see quality parks, et cetera. So the bond board and the door-to-door interaction with residents give me a strong sense of what needs to be fixed.
Correct. So that a lot of stuff that you've been hearing while you've been knocking on doors, more or less?
Yeah, absolutely. I will tell you, generally speaking, the police have done an excellent job and residents feel safe. So I never hear about safety concerns. And I'm actually really, really proud to have been endorsed by the Fraternal Order of Police. So the police are behind me. Okay. I have a background working very closely with law enforcement, and I will do that if I'm elected commissioner as well. So, there's not any sort of major concern about safety in the neighborhoods, but there is concern about the physical improvements that affect people's daily lives, right? Like I've been in houses in Flagami where people say, oh, when it rains, the water comes right there up to my door. So we know that there's, pump station issues and things that need to be resolved. There's some roads that are torn up that, there are plans to fix them. But, obviously somebody's got to keep an eye on that. There are, park improvements still underway. I just got a message about lighting, being needed for a park because they felt, unsafe at night in, a specific neighborhood, et cetera. So there's a lot of like day-to-day things that affect people in District 4 that are, it's the kind of things that you dream about at night that you want to see resolved by your city.
Yeah. Are there any pickleball parks going on in there? Or?
They're not I know pickleball is really popular everywhere. Not yet.
Throw it in the county, man.
It is definitely growing, but it's not really much of a T4 thing just yet.
On a serious note, what would you say, me just being curious on how the district is operating in District 4, what would you say are like the top three not only concerns by the residents, but things that you want to engage in to make sure that get done in the district?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I mean, like I mentioned, folks will point out to me immediately the things that affect their daily life, right? So if a road is torn up, it's got to be fixed.
A lot of that, or
there's definitely some of that, right? So some roads were repaved, and the commissioner did an excellent job of being on top of that. But that's, there's not funding to do it everywhere, so we got to make sure to seek out funding for the places where it hasn't been done. Yeah, so roadway reconstruction, drainage. I mean, if water is about to come into your house because your neighborhood is like near Flagler and you're low lying, that affects your property insurance.
How does someone go about trying to fix that?
A lot of times it's pump stations and it's underground kind of improvements you don't really see as you're going about your day, but the kinds of things that are really fundamental to people's everyday lives. Yeah. And the other big thing I would say is affordability. Folks are very, very concerned about the cost of living. You have a lot of seniors in District 4, and they're trying to figure out how to make it all work. They may have homestead exemption, but the reality is their insurance rates are going up. Yeah. The cost of eggs, as we know, is going up. Yeah. And if you're on a fixed income, this is a major concern. The city has opportunity because the city is actually like a major landowner to put out the possibility of different projects and get some additional, mixed income buildings built to help people, be able to stay in District 4.
Yeah, there's a lot of empty lots out there. Or
there are some empty lots, and the citywide owns a lot of land.
Nice,
Ralph. What would you say to these folks that all of our viewers and all these people, everybody says when you talk about City of Miami, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you have film editors, all these crazy people out there. Everybody says, "Oh my God, the City of Miami, that's crazy. That place is because." Unfortunately, it's the truth. Every time people talk about anything, the most city that you always hear on the news is City of Miami. City of Miami. Every time an argument of the day, there's a problem with this guy. I'm not going to mention names, but are you going to bring a fresh approach to the situation? Yeah. Are you going to I think the City of Miami, and I want to excuse myself because my voice is totally gone. This is
You actually
because
you have more of a radio voice right now.
oh, okay. Thank you so much. This is just because of all the
smoky.
activities,
Yeah.
all the activities of all these days.
Yeah.
But I feel that I've always said the city of Miami needs new blood.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, I hear that a lot.
and I think it's the sense of, and I can speak about that because I've been in the city of Miami. The League Against Cancer is in the city of Miami. My ex-mentor, my ex-boss was mayor of the city of Miami, which was Maurice Ferre for many years. It was first Hispanic guy. I just think that, the voters need to understand
Yeah, absolutely.
that, there's other people out there.
They are.
And what fresh approach can people bring? And are you going to not only be that person, but are you going to try and bring some sense of calmness to this place and get things done and not be in arguments all the time? I feel at that place. There's always an argument.
Yeah.
Miami's never a boring city, but
No.
folks who know me for a long time think that I'm pretty even keeled, and I would try to be a voice of reason on the commission for sure. I come from a family that's not political in nature. I'm not part of any sort of dynasty or anything like that, and I think it is important to have a fresh approach. Have a professional background of actually getting things done. Yeah, that's what I would bring to the table.
I want to just straight up tell you this, like, why would you want to do this to yourself?
Yeah.
That's really my question.
Well, we
I
ask
don't know
that
how
question.
bad it is.
Yeah.
We always ask all the questions of all these people
Right.
that want to run. I mean,
It's hard.
it's
hard.
hard.
And,
it
you
is
get
hard.
slandered, and you start,
Yeah.
So what drives you to this point? Why is it you want to be the next commissioner for District 4?
No, I'm a lifelong public servant. This is the city that gave my parents and our entire family, opportunities that they never would have had back in Cuba, in their homeland. I love this place, warts and all, right? And I can't think of a better way to serve it than to actually be on the commission and make decisions that guide the city's future.
Yeah. I mean, you come off very measured, even though we just met you a little bit ago. I like your approach to the way that you communicate as well too. I think that's something that could be, useful in a dais.
Well, I mean, not only to the dais, but I'm just saying, I mean, you need some voices of reason.
Yeah.
Sometimes because everybody just goes mad sometimes.
Yeah.
You're looking always at TV or something and all that comes out, this has happened in the city of Miami, this has happened in the city of Miami. I don't understand. You don't hear that going on in other places. Just recently now in Coral Gables, but
Right.
that has been calmed now for a little bit.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I mean, I just want all those voters and all our viewers to, really understand that your goal is to come and be a doer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. To be a doer, I will tell you, those are two things that I hear a lot from residents, right? Like everybody tells you specifically what they're concerned about on their street, but then the two things I hear district wide are they want to have less drama. So I'm happy to be to bring less drama to the city. The other thing that people complain about consistently across the entire district is sort of the bureaucracy of the city, in particular the building department. Folks have told me, I can't give names, of course, but they actually have told me, I tried to pull a permit. It was next to impossible. I gave up. So there's a lot of complaints about the building department in particular, which is perhaps the most, troublesome department at the city. And so that's got to be straightened out.
But why is that problem there in the first place? Like, how can we fix that? Because you're not the only one. A lot of people tell us that.
A lot of people have told you the same thing, right? Yeah, no. There's a number of folks that said they gave up or they tried to figure out how to pay the fees and they didn't and all of that.
But you see, for me, that's unacceptable.
That is unacceptable.
That's unacceptable because everybody tries to do, and I personally think that's what drives a lot of people to do things without permits.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because
it was fast.
people get so upset and so pissed off at the situation. And when you have places like that, how can that be? How can you not have a department, a building director, whatever, make things easier in the sense of like, okay, listen, you can come. What is it? No, I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to fix this. I want to fix that. And to Eddie's point, a lot of people have always said that the city of Miami is awful in the fact of the permitting situation.
Yeah, it seems almost unanimous, and a lot of people have told me they didn't pull permits. And the problem with that is, one thing is, I didn't pull a permit to paint my house. Not a big deal. But if somebody doesn't pull a permit for something electrical, mechanical, plumbing, we're talking about life safety.
Well, that's 100%.
Life safety because of issues in the department.
Pero what do you think? How do you think is it a staffing issue, or what do you think can be fixed?
It absolutely is, and I think there need to be some changes there. It's a leadership.
Is it like technology too, or like?
I think the technology is there. I mean, they could probably have better software, but I think a lot of it is leadership.
Okay.
Well, at the end of the day, everything starts with leadership.
Yeah.
So
I wanted to ask you, you've been a lifelong public servant. You started at the city manager position there in North Bay Village, and now you're running for a commission seat. Talking to the young people out there, how can they get involved? You having done it and you're in a good position right now. What would you recommend that they do, or how can they get involved in public service?
Yeah, no, volunteer with local organizations. Reach out to your elected officials and ask to be appointed to a board. The city of Miami has dozens of boards. There's always openings of every kind, to address any kind of issue you can imagine. Absolutely get involved in your city. There's nothing better.
And they're going to get appointed to these boards, online? Going miami.gov or?
Reach out to your commissioner to see what openings they have and, apply for one of the spots.
Yeah, and that's how the Robert Gonzalez then.
in your district ones.
Actually, no, mine is Anthony Rodriguez.
Right, but you have to look for your district.
Yeah.
You got to look for your district and then go from there.
Oh, wait, so you don't go to your commissioner, you go to your district.
Right, commissioner for your district.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Your commissioner from your district is what he's saying. So when should we, so June 3rd, when do people get like absentee ballots or early voting? Do we have that? Do we have the information already? Or
yeah, it's actually they should be getting their ballots by the end of next week.
Okay.
In fact.
All right.
Yeah. So June 3rd is election day. The Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right before that, the city's going to have early voting. For District 4, the most convenient places for folks are Shenandoah Park and the library on 50th and West Flagler. You can go to either one to vote for District 4, the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right before June 3rd.
Right.
And absentee ballots arrive in just a few days.
So Ralph, this would if you're successful, this goes to all the way to what Commissioner Reyes' term was?
Right. So this one would be to fill the remainder of his term, which ends in November 2027.
Got you. Okay. All right.
Yeah, the city has an election this November, but that's for mayor and some of the commission seats, et cetera. This seat won't be on that ballot.
Got it.
Gotcha.
All right.
Bueno, I was going to ask you, you went to Belen?
I did.
How do you feel about Columbus?
Talk
to me a little bit of the rivalry.
Given the
Columbus boys back there.
Given the number of Columbus grads, Columbus moms, Columbus dads in District 4, I think it's a wonderful school as well.
Listen, at the end,
just won 3 state championships.
at the end of the day, 50% of my friends are Belen, 50% of my friends are all from Columbus.
Yeah.
My son's going to Columbus.
I'm a
next
public
year.
school guy, so
Right. Well, I'm a public school guy too.
But that's why I wanted to see. If
But
you
at the end of the day,
It's all good.
to his
It's a
point,
friendly rivalry.
yes, they've both schools have produced magnificent people.
Yeah.
But if you have a son, what school would you?
Oh,
select
God.
him
So I happen to have 2 sons.
Okay.
Oh boy.
One is a senior at Belen and one is a freshman at Belen.
to? Okay, answered.
Answer questions.
See, he's not your typical politician, man. He answers the questions.
Oh, that's what you want. That's
I like it,
that's
I like
that's
it, I
the
like
new
it,
blood.
I like it.
That's the new blood.
That
That's
is
the new
true, though. What he said is true. You can ask the final question we always ask.
No, you go. My
All
voice
right,
is
so
gone.
this was gonna stump you. Ready? What are your top 3 restaurants in the city?
Oh, wow.
Your go-tos.
Your go-to. You can start with number 3 and go up to 1. Okay.
Oh, this is fantastic.
Number
Go
3.
with the wife and say,
Yeah,
we're going
yeah,
today
yeah.
It
where?
was number 3 and why?
Okay. I will tell you, number 3, it's my favorite restaurant closest to my house. It's Sergio's because I love the sort of fusion of
Excellent.
I like it.
American and Latin. They got La Flaca menu, which is good for your waistline, etc.
I didn't know that.
So love me some Sergio's. Number 2 is Palacio Lo Jugo. I mean, come on.
You can't go back with Palacio de Jugos.
You can't go wrong. If you need some chicharrones, you need a tamal in your life, some
Hey,
marapo.
that's a true
Yeah.
Miami guy, man.
Absolutely. And there are 2 of them in District 4. How about that?
That's amazing.
Yes.
Also, what I like about them, you get one dish and they give you so much food. You can.
That's
save
right.
The next
Oh,
day.
it's a couple of meals.
That's
yeah.
you're in heaven.
Yeah.
It's a Colombian.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Number 1.
Number 1 is La Carreta. So I love Versailles probably equally, but La Carreta is where my grandparents, growing up in the city of Miami, would take me. We'd go to the Tower Theater, and then we'd go to La Carreta. They were always convinced it was the best Cuban food in all of Miami, and we would do that almost every single Sunday night. So it's got a soft spot in my heart.
Yeah.
My kickoff is actually at La Carreta
Let's
tomorrow.
go.
and I
evening.
feel a lot of people always tell us that some of them even though there's one in Bird Road, the other
Yeah.
on H Street.
No, forget it. The original.
That's what I was
No,
saying.
there's nothing like it. The one on H.
On H.
The one in
Oh,
Coyote.
I always go to the Bird Road one. Shout out
Right.
to those ladies by the windows. They give
Yeah.
me coffee like 3 times a week. It's
Yeah.
already on the way
But-
to the gym.
But
There you go.
everybody will tell you that what he just said.
I've never
Yeah,
been to the
yeah.
H Street one.
The H Street one is the original.
Never been.
We gotta go.
Yeah, I'm down, man. I'm down.
The original.
District 4, baby.
Yeah.
District 4.
Ralph, you're running for District 4. Why should people vote for you?
Mhm.
And when is voting?
I am a Miami native, proud son of Cuban parents, born and raised in the 305. Could not be prouder at the possibility of serving as your District 4 commissioner. My heart is in it. My passion is in it. My background is in it. My family is all for it. And just dying to get elected on June 3rd.
And it's some nice young blood that's much needed up there.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%, brother. 100%. As I told you in the beginning, there's nothing better. I believe in the fact that we need to start,
Yeah.
changing.
You see it,
Guards.
you feel it, yeah.
I mean, it's necessary.
But isn't there
You
term
saw
limits now?
it. No, yeah, you have term limits. Everybody out there, remember June 3rd. We're gonna be looking. We're gonna be viewing. We're gonna be seeing what happens, Ralph. So the best of luck, my man.
Thank you.
I mean, so if you win, more power to you, and Godspeed, and let's make the city,
You got it.
better again.
Yeah.
Thank you, Manny.
No worries.
Thank you, Eddie. Of course. Thank you both.
That's good.
Thank you, brother.